Ratness, come out, kitty kitty. Where are you?
Oh, crap. The careers are coming. I gotta get out of here.
I don't see him. Come on, must have gone this way.
Phew! Man, I wish I had PETA watching my back instead of dying in a river somewhere, probably. Oh, hi there. Enjoying the games? You know, battle royales are a lot less fun than Fortnite would have you believe. 1 second you're running for your life, and the next you're bored out of your mind starving in a tree. Speaking of which, I've been passing the time reading the old Hunger Games books, and boy, have I got some thoughts. Mainly that these books are crazy good. I actually wanted to talk about the first book in particular. You know, one thing you hear so often is Katniss is a boring character, or that she's a Mary Sue. But both of these couldn't be farther from the truth. The book is written from Katniss's perspective, and there's so much more depth to her character than comes across in the movies. At the start of the series, Katniss is a character solely focused on the survival of herself and her family. She's deeply suspicious of everyone around her, what their motives might be and whether they're a threat. Her thoughts are often sporadic, thinking in clipped sentences and bouncing from topic to topic in an attempt not to focus on her miserable situation. One of the most interesting things I find is how opinionated she is. While she puts on a stonewall front to almost everyone she interacts with, Katniss is internally judging and evaluating everyone she meets, often to a darkly comical effect. Her narrow focus also allows a lot of mystery to exist in the story, as new information is often only paced out as it becomes relevant to her. I think a lot of people tend to criticize her unfairly as a girl boss type character, partially because she emerged during the time those type of characters were getting popular, and many authors have used aspects of her character as a template for their own unbeatable Mary Sues. However, these stereotypes don't really apply to Katniss. We know why she's so good with a bow and arrow. Her and her family's lives have literally depended on how adept she is at it. Additionally, it's a skill she has developed for at least half a decade, if not more, before the start of the first book. First with training from her father, and later on her own. But the key to all of this is that what adeptness Katniss has with her bow and survival skills, she lacks in so many other places. She's emotionally stunted, and while some characters take a shine to her, just as often as not, she's merely tolerated, if not despised. PETA outshines her handily in the social aspect of the games, and their complementary skills are what make them such a dynamic duo. Even Gale shows mastery in snare making that Katniss believes she could never match. Suzanne Collins also doesn't shy away from physical and biological realities. Katniss never expects to go up against the much larger and stronger boys in a hand-to-hand fight. In fact, she's described as small even among the girls. She survives through her wits, constantly working the cameras in the arena for sponsorships, and her survival skills. Even then, she survives most situations only by the barest margins. Lastly, the most compelling aspect that I find about Katniss is her compassion. This trait of hers is the one that ultimately rallies Panem behind her, but it's one that she's not even aware of for most of the series. Her true character shines in the moments of pressure, when she chooses to embrace those she should see as the other, to extend her love beyond herself. One of the most striking moments for me is Rue's death. While many have rightly remarked about the beauty of this scene, the part that stands out to me is when she's thinking about Marvel, the boy from District 1, and Rue's killer. She should hate this boy, but instead she spares a moment to think about him, his family, and how they must all feel now that he will never come back to them. In this moment, she realizes the other tributes are not the enemy, but merely other people like her, stuck in a bad situation. And it is that moment that will spark the revolution. Did you hear that? Huh? I don't see anything. I hope the careers aren't coming back. Anyway, what was I talking about? Well, I hope I've made you a little more interested in Katniss as a character, at least. There's so much richness to these books that I think gets lost in translation. Not that I hate the movies, I actually think overall they're pretty excellent adaptations. Jennifer Lawrence plays Katniss to a T. Exactly how she behaves in the book, it's just you don't get to see everything that's going on inside her mind. But she also shines in those bursts of emotions that break up Katniss's stoic act. Speaking of adaptations, did you know I'm currently writing and illustrating an epic comic which will soon be adapted into videos on my channel? The story is called Mastermind, a mind-bending tale of galactic revolution in which a superpowered genius seeks to overthrow a seemingly immortal tyrant. But are our heroes' motivations as benevolent as they appear, or is some larger goal at play? This story is inspired by Arthurian legend, the Count of Monte Cristo, and superhero comics. It will be a roller coaster ride of twists, turns, and shocking reveals. I'm holding off on going into more details until I release the first episode. But if you find yourself intrigued, I recommend subscribing to keep up to date with the project. Right now, the first episode script is fully completed, and I'm in the final outlining stages for the second. I've also started illustration on the first issue. Here's a little preview of what I've been doing. In previous episodes of the Devlog, I announced that the first episode will release on April 3rd, but unfortunately I will need to push that back because, well, illustrating a comic book ended up taking a lot more time than I thought it would. For context, I'm illustrating the comic in between a full-time job, writing the script, and of course creating videos for the channel. It's all things I brought upon myself, but it does whittle down the hours I can work on the project. My hope is that as I get acclimated to the comic making process, my speed should pick up. My new release date goal is May 1st. I'm going to do my best not to let it get pushed back any further, but if anything happens, I'll be sure to update you in another devlog just like this. And hey, if you have any questions about the project, leave them below. I'll try to answer them if I can in the next devlog. Well, I suppose that's all I've got for now. Back to working on the comic and, of course, surviving the Hunger Games until the new book releases. If only I had someone to help me with both of those.
Attention, tributes. It has been decided there may be two victors if they both come from the same district.
PETA! Monkey want banana?